Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Happy Sunday. And I apologize. This was going to happen earlier this morning. Um, just took me a little bit to get, feeling myself and in the right place to do this. I just wasn't feeling super great this morning. But anyway, so I apologize, but we're here now. And today, this is a big day as far as the coverage like of this case and what happened and what we're going to watch. Um, so if you've been following along, we've been talking about 22-year-old Rebecca Park, who unfortunately has been found deceased, but at the time of this, she wasn't. Rebecca Park went missing November 3rd from her biological mother, Cortney's house. She was reported missing November the 4th. She was actually 8.5 months pregnant and due on November the 18th. And on the 25th, she was found very close to her biological mother's house. But her baby was nowhere to be found. The case has blown up on social media, and at the time it was already blown up in certain places, and especially a lot of the locals were paying attention, out there filming, protesting, things like that. Well, they were part of how she was found and searching for Rebecca. There were a lot of locals and a lot of people helping. Well, right after she was found, her sister, Kimberly, right after she was found, within about an hour or so, her fiance, Rich, was arrested. Within a couple hours after that, her sister was arrested. Now, Rich's charges seem to be completely unrelated, but Kimberly's charges do seem to be related. And according to a local news in the area, she was charged with lying to police, but there's only a couple places who have put out that she actually told police that she saw her sister get hit in the head with something by Cortney and Brad. Courtney is the biological mom, Brad is her husband, and drug away. And that was the last time she had seen her. Now, we've been watching the interviews of the biological mom through this time period and the sister. And, since then, Courtney's now been arrested and charged with murder and a bunch of other charges, and her husband too. So during these interviews, we have Rich, who did the first interview we haven't heard yet. But then we had Courtney doing, several interviews, days, like back-to-back days. And then Kimmy did an interview, and Kimberly came out and said that Courtney threatened her and told her that she told what she knew, she was going down with it, as well as her daughter. So today, what we're going to watch is Courtney's direct response to that. Basically, she gets on right after that the next day, or, I believe it was the next day. But again, I have been telling you guys, but I'm just trying to recap if somebody hasn't been watching. We're watching TikTok lives that have been re-uploaded. So we can only be so certain about some of these things as far as the dates and times with these lives. But we do know that after this interview, Courtney had been filmed at the end of her driveway talking about going and searching these tracks, right? It's 2-track, and in behind her house, searching these trails. Kimberly keeps mentioning these trails, and she's going to say it in this interview. And then I believe it's 2 days after the interview we're about to watch, and 1 day after her being filmed at the end of her driveway, that Rebecca was found. So she's really trying to put all of this on Kimberly, in my opinion. After Kimberly came out and said that, she was threatened by her, Courtney's like, okay, well, Kimberly keeps asking me about these trails, because you're going to hear in a moment, the interviewer will go, but I thought she bought her sister a bus ticket, so why do you want to search the trails? And she responds, why would Kimberly keep talking about them? So for Rebecca to be found on these trails 2 days later is just wild. And let me show you, because I do have this TikTok, which is it's dated the 25th. I believe this was like right after midnight, and that's why. And Rebecca was found this day, but later. Okay, so this is when she was at the end of the driveway talking to people about this search that they were going to do and planning this search. And we watched it, in my days of like covering this, but we might watch it again after this interview. It's going to take us 2 days to get through the interview. And here's the deal. We played the first couple minutes last night. Today, we're going to start from the beginning, and we're going to get probably as far as we can, right? Maybe an hour in. It's 2 hours long. Tuesday, they have court, both Kimberly and Rich. After we find out what's going on with them and what we learned at court, we will go over that Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here. We'll go over what happened in court and the rest of this interview on Tuesday. Because tomorrow I want to talk about something else, which is Stephen Stearns. He's the man who he's spent the rest of his life in jail for not only murdering his girlfriend's daughter, Maddie, but also abusing her for years and years and filming it. And he is a real monster. And he is who my attention is going to be on tomorrow. But here's another clip of her at the end of the road planning this search. Let's see the date on this one. The 26th. It says, someone tries telling her where the search party is going to meet. Cortney slips up and says exactly where they end up finding Becca. It's right here behind my house, I'm sure. No, you go down this road and you go down, and they're quoting her. So see, this is, again, same footage like of her at the end of the driveway. Let me go back. This is just another person's footage. The locals are all over this, like I said. Okay, so I think that's the rundown. If you want to watch this interview without my commentary, I will put the description in the chat right now. And if you're on the replay, it will be within 5 minutes of the live ending. It's going to be in the description. So for those of you who don't want to listen with me, because I'm going to pause a lot, I'm going to have a lot to say. This woman enrages me. She goes against everything inside of me that tells me who I am and what I believe in, truly. This is a mother who not only, whoa, this video started in the background, sorry. This is a mother that not only, look, have your issues in life. And I'm not even going to hold it to her that she had her issues and the kids went to foster care, but you didn't fight, you didn't get them, you didn't raise them. And not only did you do that, but then when they were 18 and decided to have a relationship with you, you took advantage of them. And now you have literally just gone against not only what I believe in, but nature, right? You cut the baby out of her womb. A woman who at one point lived in your womb. She is just the most disgusting. So I'm going to pause a lot. I got a lot to say. I don't like this bitch, and I'm not going to hold back. I am not a professional. My channel, although I will always try to keep it factual and as respectful as possible, my respect only extends to everybody but the perpetrators. They don't get my respect ever. So that's where I'm at. The egg donor. Yep. And that's where we're going to start. So I've got it at the point in the live where actually Steph uploaded this to her channel. She's the one who's done the other interviews. And we listened to her last night on Banfield on ATS News's channel. I'm going to drop her link in the chat. She was on Banfield and she had some interesting information. She actually didn't do this interview. She is playing someone else's TikTok during her live, and she re-uploaded it. This is just where I can find it. I do plan on doing some research, though, trying to find other lives that they've attended that, I just haven't found yet, because TikTok is the Wild West. The lives don't save. Anybody can take them and re-upload them. It's just, it's a different kind of place. And besides that, let me think. So last night I was on Amber's. Is there anything off that Banfield that I wanted to touch on with you guys before? We learned that some stuff about Bradley's past. Steph claims that one of his old victims from an old case from 2011 reached out to her, and she says she was assaulted on that same track, him behind the property. What else did we learn? we learned that Steph, actually, this is interesting as far as this goes. And for the rest, go watch Amber's live because I can't remember off the top of my head. And it was a good conversation. But we learned that while while Steph was doing these interviews with Cortney was texting other people, telling them she was doing reverse psychology on these ladies. She really thought she was just so slick, so believable. I can't stand, like, there's nothing worse than a liar. Truly, if you're a liar and a manipulator, you have no place around me. I really don't care who you are. If you're family, I'm gonna have to love you from a damn distance because you got no place around me. But it's so funny, and it just gets me tickled when somebody just believes that they are so good at lying like that. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm doing reverse psychology on lady. Everybody knew you were full of shit from the beginning. They just wanted you to keep telling different stories and keep spinning because then, you're showing exactly who you are and what the actual truth is by telling so many lies. So that is where we're at. Okay. Can't stand them, Wolfie. I am not for a liar. Look, here's the way I see it. I don't want to lie. I don't want to be lied to. If I respect you and I tell you the truth, you respect me and you tell me the truth. And that's just period. Whether it's friend, family, boss, coworker, I don't really care. There is nothing worse than like a very manipulative liar that makes you do mental gymnastics nonstop. And Cortney is that. She is a lot like Letitia Stalk in that way, and it's been interesting watching having dug so deep into Letitia's case. All right, let's get into it because we got a lot to get through. I'm just going to press play. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot to say, but so in the beginning here, they're looking for Cortney, like they're looking to find what's going on. They're not sure yet, and then we're going to jump right into the interview, like maybe 30 seconds in.
With that.
Okay.
With that account?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, hold on. What is going on?
Kimberly.
Where did her other account go?
Here we go.
I don't know.
See? And hey Diana. And Sassy as always. You know it. Okay, so here is where it starts.
Hold on.
Yeah, they're on.
I am going to be a minute. I'm going to go make some lemonade, like a glass of lemonade. So we'll just be listening and I'll be right with you guys.
Here she is.
Earlier today, the detective asked me and Brad to come in. We both went in. The detective talked to me and asked me if I'd do a lie detector test. Did not give Brad the choice to even do a lie detector test. They automatically told him that he was doing it whether he liked it or not. While I was doing mine, I found out that Kimberly had said that I hit my daughter and I hit her body. Then I find out that she's trying to get my husband for murder. Then I find out that she's been asking Brad about the trails behind my house. Okay. Tomorrow, I've agreed with everybody, 11 o'clock, be in front of my house or on the side road, whatever. You follow me. We do trail hunt out where Kimberly's asking.
Thought she couldn't take a lie detector test because she had tachycardia or whatever she said the other day, but okay.
I do not know what we're going to find, if we find anything. I have no clue. This could be a lot.
Are you willing to accept a couple questions if we're we're neutral? We just have a couple questions for you. We will have a team out here tomorrow at 11. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, but we do have some questions with you. We can let you speak, repeat what you said out there because it was difficult to hear. But when you're done, if you would please accept some questions as long as we're respectful.
Yeah. Saturday night before Kimberly left with Brendan, she had stated that, was it Saturday? It was Saturday, right? She stated that she was the one in the black car. Where she got the car, I don't know. But she stated that she was the one in the car. She was the one that picked her sister up. She also stated that she took her to a bus station, put her on a bus, and sent her to Tennessee. When she got there, was to get a hold of Josh. And I don't know if she's there yet or not. She should be. Because it does not take 3 weeks, right? I didn't think so. But she should already be there. Josh was supposed to help her with that $2,000 and get a apartment.
What?
I told
live
them
in
tonight that
Tennessee,
I'm not
you
lying
can't get
for my
one for
daughter
that.
anymore. She's going to fess up.
Right.
In fact, I live an hour and a half north of where she's talking about. I know where she's talking about.
We get back in my car, which I'm sitting there at the sheriff's department waiting for Brad. And he gets in, he's like, this is some bullshit. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, your daughter's trying to implicate me for murder. I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then he's like, could that be why she's asking me about the trails? I was like, I hit the dash so hard, I'm surprised the airbag didn't freaking deploy. I was like, what the fuck you mean she's asking you about the trails behind the house?
Listen to them. They are so transparent. They are trying to set her up. Remember, Rebecca was found in a place that had been searched. They are, in my opinion, they are trying to set Kimberly up to take the fall for this. You know, oh my God, I about hit the damn dash so hard the airbag almost came out. Wait, are you serious? You are so unbelievable. Let me rewind this. That don't even sound believable to me. Your daughter's trying to implicate me for murder. Could that be why she's asking about the trails? And I about hit the damn dash so hard. It is clear as day what you're up to, bitch.
Murder. I said, you gotta be
clear as day.
He's like, this is some bullshit. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, your daughter's trying to implicate me for murder. I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then he's like, could that be why she's asking me about the trails? I was like, I hit the dash so hard, I'm surprised the airbag didn't freaking deploy. I was like, what the fuck you mean she's asking you about the trails behind the house? He's like, she's been asking me.
Oh my God. So, Life Eat 5075 says, I thought she called her mom because she was having labor pains. And that is what, so we did hear that from her friend. You know, I don't know. I don't know the truth of if she was going into labor, if she was having Braxton Hicks, if I don't know. I'm just listening to everybody's story, those involved, their interviews that were publicly done, and going over information that comes from the court. I think that Tuesday, we'll get some more information because we have Kimberly's probable cause hearing. But until we hear a timeline from law enforcement, I'm just not certain on what exactly happened. You know, but yes, you're right. We did hear that from her friend. She was having contractions and stuff.
And when the cops were out here searching for Becca around where her phone was and all that, Kimmy was sitting here getting nervous. Real nervous. Okay, so
Listen to
you say
her.
you put your sister on the bus, but yet you're sitting here getting nervous. And then when we start asking her questions about the sea and the rugs and all that, she just kind of like closed herself off to us. She didn't want to talk anymore.
Does this sound familiar, anybody?
Now everybody in this
Hey,
knows
Rando. What a
that
terrible
Kimberly
human.
has had
You're lying, girl.
everybody, even the ones that went out to the compound, the ones that were here, running a wild goose chase. This has to end. That is why I said, let's go check the trails behind my house.
This, whoa.
What are we checking?
Because this has got to stop.
This has to end. That's why I said, it's clear as day. And then within a day or two, there she's found on the trails behind the house. Who could have seen that happening? So Diana said, so this piece of trash killed one daughter and trying to pin it on her other daughter who's pregnant. Yeah, pretty much. Except for the one thing I would clarify is these are her biological daughters. They have been in foster care and with their foster mom who adopted them. So their adopted mom since Kimberly was 1 month old and Rebecca was 1 year old. She is a trash bag piece of shit who I'm assuming, because Rebecca was 22 and we learned they've been in contact for 4 years. It's an assumption that Rebecca turned 18 and wanted to know more about where she came from. And that Cortney was a very manipulative, just taking advantage of her in the situation. Hey, Amber. I was just talking about our live from your channel last night.
How can we confirm? Have you talked to your daughter? Have you talked to Becca?
I have not talked to Becca. The baby shower that we had planned was supposed to be virtual.
Virtual?
How the hell do you do a virtual baby shower?
What?
That's not what she testified to before.
Correct.
Virtual baby showers happen, but that's not what she testified to before. So we played like the first 10 minutes of this the other night. I just wanted to listen in full with you guys from the beginning, especially for people who come, and didn't hear that live. But when we did that, I'm like, what do you mean that's not what she testified to before? You know that like going on your damn YouTube channel and doing an interview is not the same as testifying in a court of law, right? Like, it's illegal to lie when you're testifying in a court of law, and there's a reason why attorneys go to either law school or they do years of apprenticeship training and they have to take the bar, and depending on what state they're in and what's required in that state. There's a reason, though. You don't just hop on and become an attorney. You're not just like go in and apply at the courthouse right out of high school and start being an attorney. And there's a reason why police officers go, they have red tape. There's certain things, certain lines you have to stay in between in investigations to protect the defendant's right to a fair trial and just protect the case in general. But that's not what she testified to before. It's like, my God. Okay.
It's supposed to be at her house.
I will warn you guys, if you go back and listen, if you haven't been paying attention and watched all these interviews, it's a common theme. These TikTokers they take things a little too far, in my opinion, for open, active investigations.
A little leery on that, but has she had the baby? Do you know?
Kimberly says she has. She said that he's fine, but he's in the NICU in Tennessee.
Oh my!
I'll be there in the morning.
I don't know how truthful it is.
Oh my God!
But that's what Kimberly said.
When did Kimberly originally tell you that she got Becca on a bus to Tennessee?
Oh my God!
She told me Saturday.
She told you on Saturday? Okay. And then
and I told her to tell the detective.
Right.
And she said that she was going to.
If she did get on this bus and you're believing that's what happened, why? And What would be significant about the trails behind your house?
Why is Kimberly asking about the trails that are behind my house?
See? See what I mean? This is her literally responding to Kimberly telling the truth on her. In my opinion, I believe she did threaten her. And I think that it definitely says something that Kimberly has been released. She hasn't been charged with homicide. She hasn't been charged with, moving a dead body or any part of that. Any kind of after the fact. She's only been charged with lying to police during a violent crime investigation. And a couple lying to police charges.
What was she asking? I mean, what do you mean? What was she asking, like, Cortney? Like, what kind of questions did she ask about the trails? Did she just say, where are they? Or where do they go? Or where does this one lead to? Or what was it?
She was asking how many people run them trails and all that.
And all that.
Like,
Okay.
what's it matter?
Oh, why?
They go to Trotter, and a lot of people run it. But if she was put on the bus for Tennessee, why search the back?
Yeah. Why
Why would Kimmy be asking about them trails if she put her sister on a bus is what I'm thinking.
No, we don't believe it.
Okay. So when she was asking about those trails, Brad, when she was asking about those trails back there, Brad, and those types of specific.
So that is Brad in the background, which is so interesting. I'm going to rewind just like 20 seconds, but let me address a couple comments just to clarify a couple things. So talking about, has the baby been found? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I had to cough. Talking about, has the baby been found? Not that we know of. Do I think that they would necessarily tell us immediately when he had been found? I don't know. I don't think necessarily they would, especially since there's no Amber Alert or, missing persons alert or anything like that. One of the charges is, a couple of the charges have to do with intentionally causing a stillbirth or miscarriage. Seems that they believe that the baby has passed away now. Does that mean that they found? I think that could simply mean they found a lot of blood and too much blood with another person's DNA that wasn't Rebecca's, that was her child, that a newborn baby couldn't live through, or something like that, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they found him, but they could have. I don't know. The last update we had from law enforcement, they hadn't. Does that mean that they haven't found him since then and kept quiet for one reason or another? I don't know. I have questions about that. I'm really curious if we would even know. So, and Life Eat 5075 says, I'm a silent watcher. I watch Allie, Jen, and Amber faithfully, but this case makes me speak out and angers me so bad. It does me too. It's grabbed me like that too. Like, I know what you mean. If I didn't have a channel and I was just following true crime, because I watch and follow true crime too outside of my channel, this would be one that, like, it's grabbed me in a way that's different from the way other cases sometimes grab me. There are certain cases that just you're drawn to, like, and different people are different. I know some people, their life's mission has been Delphi. I've been interested in that, but, I felt like the coverage that I did and some of my friends did on Gannon's case, on the case against Letitia Stalk, was like what I don't know. I just felt more drawn to that. You know what I mean? So I know what you mean by that. Like, this case angers me so bad too. And yeah, I'm knee deep in it right there with you guys. Just let me make sure there's nothing else. Did they ever actually say the baby was missing, or did they just say it wasn't with her? I'll have to re-listen to the presser. They said, oh my God, the way it was worded. Remember, we went over it from the medical, from the what was said on some legal document. I can't remember which one it was, and I don't want to misspeak. I believe I know, but it was worded that the baby wasn't with her. Like there was no sign of the baby. The baby was missing. I think they did say missing at first, but then again, like I said, there's been no missing persons alert or anything like that. He does have a name. She was going to name him Richard. I saw that on her Facebook. I don't know. Brad is the stepdad. Brad is Cortney's husband, and Brad has also been charged with every single charge that Cortney's been charged with. You know, the homicide charges, the torture charges, the intentionally causing a miscarriage or death charges. He was named by the prosecutor and said to have planned and researched this with Cortney. So he is a big part of this case. And let me show you. No, Kimberly is out on bail. What did I say? Did I misspeak? But let me show you guys Brad, because we have some pictures of him real quick. So this is Cortney. Since we're listening to her, might be a good idea to show it anyways. This is Kimberly. Let's go backwards. Cortney, biological egg donoring mom, however you say that. I should say that. Here's old Brad. He's quite the catch, you know. He comes with prior sex charges and other things. There he is. There they are again. Oh, Cortney and Brad. He's such a catch that, according to Steph on Ashley Banfield, he is not supposed to be living in Cortney's home. He's not supposed to be around Cortney's minor child, who's 14 years old, the young boy. He is said to be living in a tent, away from the home because of that, which we know isn't true. And we know that he's there, but that's what a catch he is. And how many moms, she wants to say, number one, she has to be let out of jail to take care of her son. How many moms would marry someone who cannot be around your kids? Who can't even live with you? What the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Seriously, though. Let me show you a couple more pictures just before we keep going back to listen. Who you're listening to. This one right here. Look at these two. They just look like, stand-up people. She's all looking all gapped out. And he looks like the creep of all creeps. Sorry, I'm kicking something under my table. But yeah, stand up people here, okay? Look at them. One of them doesn't, fight for their kids to get them back in their custody. And the other one isn't allowed to be around kids. So there was some other things alleged on Banfield I hadn't heard before. I'll go listen to Amber's Live. I won't go back through them all, but it was interesting regarding something that she had done to Rebecca when she was little. This is Rebecca and Rich, her fiance. Rich is also not a stand-up guy. I don't believe he's involved in her disappearance and murder, but we know he's terrible too. He's on the sex offender registry. He literally has charges of not only messing with children, but doing so with an incapacitated victim. Absolutely disgusting. There he is in all his glory. Kimmy, that's her sister. And then one last picture of Rebecca. And then one more time, we'll end it with Cortney's face, since that's who we're listening to. Here she is, crying during her arraignment.
You're believing that's what happened. Why and what would be significant about the trails behind your house?
Why is Kimberly asking about the trails that are behind my house?
What was she asking? I mean, what do you mean? What was she asking, like, Cortney? Like, what kind of questions did she ask about the trails? Did she just say, where are they, or where do they go, or where does this one lead to, or what was it?
She was asking how many people run them trails and all that.
Thank you, Real Lunch Lady, by the way. I didn't see that, for being a member for 27 months. Thank you so much. Just want to say that, and so I can take it off there, and we'll keep lifting.
All that.
And try not to pause as much.
Well, why?
They go much harder, and a lot of people run it. But as she was put on the bus for Tennessee, why search the back?
Yeah, why
Why would Kimmy be asking about them trails if she put her sister on a bus is what I'm thinking.
No, we don't believe it.
Okay, so when she was asking about
Answer
those
that
trails, Brad, when she was asking about those trails back there, Brad, and those types of specific questions like that, Brad, why would you not think, after all this time with her missing and all the stuff that you guys have been doing and all the things that have been going on social media and all the speculation, why wouldn't you have said, you know what, that's right, Kimmy did ask me about all those trails and was asking me all those questions. So why before today, wait, listen.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not trying to argue with you.
I'm trying to tell you. You guys don't need to badger him. He's telling you. He just figured Kimmy wanted to go trailing.
Oh my God.
Okay, I understand that, and hear me out. And I didn't finish, and I let you
That's
guys
something that
finish.
she normally does.
What I said was, and hear me out again. With everything that's happened and all this social media presence and all this stuff and all the accusations and all the things that were coming out, you mean to tell me that he didn't think about that? He didn't think nothing of it? He didn't stop to think and be like, wow, you know what?
Brendan got a 4-wheel drive.
It doesn't matter. You're missing the point, Courtney. I asked you a direct question,
He
and you're
figured
missing
that
the point.
it was just for her to go trailing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Brendan loves to go
I still
mudding.
would have brought it up. I think you're still missing the point because I still would have brought it up. I still would have said,
I understand.
you know what,
but
to be
you're
honest,
saying, okay, I'm about to go if you're going to do this.
I'm not trying to.
I understand
I'll
what
shut
you're
up.
saying, but he didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Because they can't count to 4. We figured that out by now.
We
We get
didn't
it.
know anything about the bus until Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. It was Saturday.
when you found that out
Here,
on
we're
Courtney don't want to hear too much pushback, does she? Which, you know what? I wouldn't be pushing back as much then. Push as far as you can, of course, but keep her up there and keep her ass talking. Because even though I agree they sleaze me out too, I feel like she said quite a lot in these interviews. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and another thing is, hell, authorities probably appreciate them getting her to talk as much as she did too. I don't know. I could be wrong, but she's definitely not doing herself any favors. So let her keep doing it because we keep hearing more and more. And I'm sorry, her doing this whole thing with Kimberly and the trails and trying to put all this suspicion on her right before Rebecca is found on those trails that have already been searched paints a really clear picture to me. Like, am I crazy? Do you guys see it too? Because it's like you are trying to throw her under the bus. You are a vicious, heartless piece of shit. You don't ever deserve the title mom, and calling you an egg donor is more than I want to do too. Honestly, it is, because neither one of those girls deserve to be tied to you in any way. And the fact that you would have had to donate an egg is more than you deserve as well.
sitting here
Disgusting,
wondering
sleazy ass.
where my daughter is at. My other daughter said that she already knew that she wasn't out in the woods.
Thank you,
that
kindness.
we didn't have to worry about all that.
Okay, I have
And I
two
said, how do you
questions.
know? And she said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I have two questions. A few weeks ago, it's in an article that you said that you would not be able to participate in a polygraph test because you have tachycardia, or however it's pronounced, but your heart beats
Yep.
faster.
It's tachycardia.
Tachycardia, yes.
She sure
And
did.
you said that you would not be able to give a legitimate polygraph test for those reasons. How were you able to do it today? Did they say that it was okay?
They said it was okay.
Oh, okay. And you were assuming before that it wouldn't be, or did somebody tell you that?
Why'd you all give her the answer? Duh.
I was assuming, and the detective had mentioned I've got to do some research.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, so obviously somebody with tachycardia can't do it.
Oh, I'm just asking.
For fuck's
I'm
sake.
not trying to like badger or anything. Just asking. And if you found out Saturday that Kimmy said she put her on a bus, did you contact law enforcement on Saturday, or did you tell them about that today?
Kimmy said that she was going to call them while she was out and about. And then, as you guys know, it blew up.
Thank you. I know Chef definitely has a couple questions.
Oh, the one that said that if your mom's in jail, you'll get a car. Would you turn your mom in for $50,000? And she said it'd have to be more. I'm not talking to him. I will drop out.
Chef,
Oh,
sorry.
dang.
I respect that.
Sorry, Chef, but she ain't talking to your ass. Samantha, I got to read your comment because I think this is interesting, especially because I'm kind of right there with you. And look, Neat, just as I was saying that, says I'm thinking the same thing. I'm starting to think more and more that Kim wasn't as involved as I first thought. I think she's easily manipulated by her egg donor, but I still think she had some knowledge. And I think exactly. I completely agree with that. So at first, when she's arrested, immediately after, put on this very high bond, said to have lied to police during the investigation, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But now I agree. It's starting to look like, and this is why we should never judge, based on how we feel. If there's no evidence one way or another, we shouldn't be accusing people. Jen Soto's a great example. A lot of people just accuse she knew more. She was part of it. She helped him. She did it and he covered it up. There's no evidence of that. She might be a horrible person, but there's no evidence of that. Or she might maybe be a horrible mother, right? And I don't know. And, we can all have different opinions on those things, but it really does look like Kimberly, in my opinion, I think, was probably threatened. Probably manipulated some as well by her egg donor. But think about this. That this woman was the last person with your sister, right? Maybe she doesn't know exactly what happened, but you have to know, and especially by how she's acting, that it's her, right? You know what she's capable of. Maybe you do know, but you certainly know she's capable of that, right? Because she's the last one with her. She's threatening you, allegedly, telling you, if you say this, blah, 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 or whatever. I just think that once you see that she's capable of committing the crime against Rebecca, whether you know for certain she did it or just think she did, once you even think so, you're going to be scared of her. What's she going to do to me? Especially, look, Kimmy is only 21. That is a baby. Dude, at 21, I thought I knew everything, but I didn't know shit. Okay? I didn't know shit about life. Maybe I knew what I learned in school, right? But I didn't know shit about life in the real world. We just don't at that age. That's such a young age. And with somebody evil who you already think or either think or know is the reason that your sister isn't around anymore. And things weren't adding up. I mean, hell, there was the truck that nobody was allowed to go around during, like, the people were out there searching, and there was missing fabric off the truck. I can imagine all the other things that probably were red flags that we don't know about yet, right? I just think, what if she was scared? What if it wasn't even manipulated, just scared and threatened or something? So I do not think that if she was involved, even in like covering it up, besides that lying charge, but if there was anything that she helped like move or touch or drive or anything like that, I believe if she was involved, she'd be charged. I definitely don't believe her bond would have been dropped to $5,000 where she only needed $500 to get out, and she would have been released. By the time they charged Cortney and Brad, they would have charged anybody else, right? Why wouldn't they? I don't know. That's just where I'm at. It could change. Here's the thing. We got to have evidence to accuse people. We don't know. Things may look one way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it is. Humans are weird. People are weird. Reactions can be all sorts of different ways to different things, depending on what you've been through, and every other part of your personality. But
No problem. No problem.
so yeah,
I
I
have a
don't
question.
think
You know that she is with
that long
Josh.
rant to say. I
Have you
agree.
reached out and made contact with Josh?
Hey, okay.
No. They won't talk to me because of Mel. Because I asked Mel to take the reward down so that we could actually get answers, and Mel blew it all out of proportion.
New
Why would you
character.
think taking
Now.
it down will get answers though?
Because if nobody has realized that once the reward was up, like Wexford County Sheriff's Department blew up. Like these are guys that are trying to work 14, 16, 18 hours a
Josh
day.
is
on
the one that
same
provided
time.
me the Snapchat.
All of a sudden the phones are just going
She's
wild.
not there.
Right.
And that didn't happen until that reward was up.
She's not there.
Wouldn't you want that for Rebecca though?
Fucking crazy.
You're right. They're just going blew up. Like these are guys that are trying to work 14, 16, 18 hours
Josh
a day.
is the
on
one that
same
provided
time.
me the Snapchat.
All of a sudden the phones are just going
She's
wild.
not there.
Right.
And that didn't happen until that reward was up.
She's not there.
Wouldn't you want that for Rebecca though?
Fucking crazy.
What?
You're right. I would, but I also want true answers.
Oh, okay, but don't you think that that money could have helped you get those true answers?
Mel said no matter what, she was giving that money to Becca.
Okay, reward
she
money
comes home.
doesn't go. Listen, what I'm saying to you, Courtney.
You want me to
That's
go
not
over there in the box and tell her that Josh has verified she's not there?
somebody that
Now
gives
what,
her
Courtney?
Where Rebecca is.
Tell her that
That's
I
how the reward
verified
money
through
works.
Josh's
I had the
and
screenshot.
the
I
other
would
party
show
that
you guys, but I
will
don't
remain
have the
unnamed.
screenshots. I would
I'm
show
All right, be
you.
right back.
what they're
Matter, you
talking
can show
about.
me a million
Right,
screenshots. That's
Samantha.
not how reward money
Same.
works.
Samantha,
That is
just
what
it.
Mel had said.
Still don't know.
Okay, and I can bring Mel up here to defend herself if you would like, but I don't think that that would work, and I think that you would leave. So I'm not going to do that. But I want you to understand that I do not believe that, and it's a very far-fetched story, and I would like you to try to figure a different version, because that's not what happened. You're not going to
That
convince
is
me.
exactly what Mel said to me.
Oh, somebody summons Boo
If I bring
Bear.
her up here and she says
It's
that, I'll take
going
it back.
down.
If I bring her up here and she admits that, I will take it back. And there should be no reason for you to leave if that is 100% true.
They've turned
I'm just
comments
saying.
off. I can't get in
Bring her
there.
up, because that's
All right,
exactly
Mel,
what she
I'm
told me.
inviting her right now.
Mel, if you would please.
What is about to go down? I'm very confused. Let's wait for Mel to get here. I'm excited to see this kind of showdown between Cortney and Mel. Whatever it's about, I'm confused what it's about. Obviously, again, we don't see everything that happens over on the TikTok lives. They are reviewing the interview. They're playing it. So it looks like Steph goes live every day at like the same time. And this was like happening while she was live. Who is Boo Bear? K-Wags, I don't know either, girl. I don't know. But Chief, fun fact, you now have that song in my head, and I used to memorize, like I tried to memorize it when I was a kid. So thanks a lot, Chief. Trying to be serious here and rage at Cortney because she deserves it. And now I got crisscross in my head. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay.
Oh God.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Hello.
Mel, so
Yeah.
I know you've been listening.
I have.
Okay, let's hear your response, Mel.
Okay, my response is this. I did offer a $15,000 reward. I kept that reward up until I was receiving death threats. And Cortney, I have a conversation with her. I have the screenshots. She told me that I needed to take the reward down. I asked her why. She did say that that was the only way that Becca was going to be found. I asked her a direct question. I said, if somebody happens to be holding Becca and they are waiting to see if that money would increase, then what happens if I take it down and they hurt Becca? And she says, ain't nobody got Becca. That was her response to me. I never said to her that I would give Becca the money. I said, if Becca would have contacted me and let me know that she needed help, I would have helped Becca.
Okay. If she would have contacted you, you told me that you would give Becca the money when she come home.
No, that was not my words to you. I have the screenshots, Cortney. Please quit trying to spin this the way that you want your story to go.
My story?
Okay, so we're here for the ride. We're gonna find out what the hell's going on, at least as much as we can. But you know, this is obviously like some sort of TikToker who is way too deeply involved with this. Why in the hell why is there anything that Cortney can spin for because that's what she does, obviously, and we see it and we can tell. But what in the hell is going on here? This is such a mess. All right, let's keep listening.
This is
Good
a
God
fucking
Almighty.
joke.
Yep.
This is my daughter, for fuck's
Your daughter?
sake.
That's
This
my
is
best
not a
friend.
fucking joke.
Bitch, this ain't your daughter. You
really?
donated your fucking eggs.
Yeah, really.
You mean your daughter's best friend?
What?
Yeah, you think that me and
What? You mean your daughter's best friend? Wait, so is that a friend's mom? But wait, what? Donated your eggs? How did you? Oh, I think we would get along with this lady. We call her the same thing, the egg donor. Oh my. Hold up, your daughter's best friend. So Mel, is that the mom of the girl who did the interview? Remember the best friend who said that she was going into labor? Let's rewind. See, I told you we'd figure this shit out together, but what in the world? So maybe it's not a TikToker, but they're still they're way too deep in it still. But okay.
Contacted you. You told me that you would give Becca the money when she come home.
No, that was not my words to you. I have the screenshots, Courtney. Please quit trying to spin this the way that you want your story to go.
My story? Do you think I think this is a fucking joke?
Yep.
This is my daughter, for
Your
fuck's
daughter,
sake.
that's
This
my
is not
best
a
friend.
fucking joke.
Bitch, this ain't your daughter. You
really?
donated your fucking eggs.
Yeah, really.
You mean your daughter's best friend?
Yeah, you think that me and
How
Becca
is my
were
daughter
close?
your best friend?
You don't think me and Becca
Where
were
were
close?
you when my daughter was being abused? Where were you when
By you.
freaking she could have used goddamn help?
By you.
Where were
Remember the time that you chased her out of your house with a baseball bat and my husband had to go and get her and your husband tried to ram his truck?
When did
Oh my goodness. I don't know, but remember Ruth and we'll keep it in mind. I don't know. This one, so when I first found these interviews, I did skip around and listen to some of them. I haven't heard none of this besides what we heard together yesterday. And so I'm kind of learning with you guys. But wow, this seems like it's the mom of Rebecca's best friend. Or remember when you chased her out of your home with a ball bat and my husband had to go get her? Okay. I think that's when Steph should have made, yeah, like her facial expressions and stuff. Correct. Dirty laundry aired. All right. You're being just. Let's keep listening. Holy cow.
when did Josh ever have a fucking truck here?
Yeah, he did. Actually, if you want to
No,
get technical, it was a Jeep. Yes.
But the thing was, is you knew what the fuck was going on with my daughter, and then where were you? Not a fucking soul was around. Not even me.
Little
not
did you
her
know
dad.
because you never
Not
talked to
anybody.
your daughter. You know how many times
Really?
me and Brittany? No, wait a minute. Let's call it for what it is, Brittany. You know
How many times have I saved your daughter from a fucking hot shot, Mel? How many times?
What?
From a hot shot. So if you don't know, a hot shot is like in drug world, is in the drug world. It's a needle with either way too much drugs in it or a drug that's much heavier than what the person meant to be taking. That could be life-threatening. A hot shot is you kill people with it or put them in a diaper permanently. It's one of the ways that drug addicts kill each other without getting that's just what it is. It's either a needle with more drugs than they expected or a different kind of drug that is more dangerous. Like, let's say, for instance, they're shooting up a pain pill in their needle, but somebody fills it up with a whole bunch of fentanyl or something, right? Or a bunch of heroin. And it's enough to hurt somebody, to really hurt them. So, okay. Yeah, she probably gave it.
Once?
Once? What or once?
How many times have I saved your daughter from a fucking hot shot, Mel. How many times?
What, once?
Oh my goodness. This should not be. Oh, here you say golden shot.
I didn't
Interesting,
pause it. They
Adrian.
did.
On the internet.
Is everybody all
says-
right in the chat?
That
Y'all
she
good?
lowered,
Very
it's like Allie's, is that her name? Is that she's paused?
Yeah, she's paused. She's teacupped. Hold on, here they come.
Bullshit.
Yep,
Okay.
one that is made to kill someone. Right.
You know, it's pretty funny.
Because I am going on what
It's funny.
Tia
I have
said.
talked to Kimmy. Stop for a minute. I have talked to Kimmy more than one time. I have.
Yeah, you think you have.
No, I have. You want the screenshots on that too?
Kimmy hands the phone off every time you text.
No. It's her
You
voice.
liar.
Oh, yeah.
It's not yours.
You're right, it's not. But every time you text, she used to hand the phone off. Now y'all are
More lies.
buddy.
Do you know what the truth is?
Come on.
Do you know
Mel,
what the truth
I'm
is?
telling you.
You're telling me
According
what?
to my
Adrian,
daughter,
I
my other
love
daughter's
you.
down there with you guys.
You are the
Yeah.
best.
You want to come check it
What
out?
in the fuck the- Do not write that
Oh,
about
trust
Johnny
me.
in here.
If I had the
No.
vehicle and I had the fucking gas money,
I told you
Absolutely.
about
I'd
it.
right now to
Bring
get
every
my fucking way.
motherfucker you want to
I'll
bring.
go.
'Cause she ain't
I'll go to
here.
Mills.
If you think she
Great.
was here, I wouldn't be busting my ass.
Not far.
Look down our fucking way right now.
Steph will go.
Another line, right, Courtney?
Maybe
Because trust
we
me,
don't
I
need
want to find my fucking daughter and bring her home.
My
And my
fucking
grandson.
daughter?
Courtney,
Wow.
Courtney, listen, can I ask you something? And this is a very serious question, Courtney.
Hmm.
Do you honestly, in your heart of hearts, right now, step back and breathe and think, do you honestly think in your heart of hearts that Rebecca is in Tennessee? After you're hearing what Mel has to say, and Mel telling you that she's not there, do you really honestly still want to play that charade and think that she's in Tennessee?
Play that
I don't know
charade.
where my daughter is, but I want her home.
Courtney,
I want to go back to sleeping at night.
She's crying because she got caught.
the truth. Because here's what I'm seeing right now. I see a person who's spinning and spiraling, and the fingers are flying and pointing every which way but where they should.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's hard, and I think you're scared, and I think you don't understand, and I think you don't know what to do, and I think that would probably be very scary. And I can understand that. Not only that, the
I was
major
in Tennessee. That is what I was told.
This is
Okay, just a quick pause for a second. Deep breath. This is getting so intense. So, Christy, thank you for your comment and thank you for being here. Christy said, "So glad you're covering this. I couldn't watch the other channel. So annoying." Okay, it's funny because usually I get comments that are like, "Stop talking, like just play what you're playing," right? Which has always been really odd to me. It's like, this is my channel. If you come here, you will hear me talk. But those would be on like jail calls and stuff. So I can understand. But I've noticed on these live streams, I've gotten, more than a couple comments of people saying, like, I tried to watch and it was so hard to listen to. Like, you make it a lot easier with your commentary and you raging out at these people or whatever. So, that's awesome. And thank you. And I'm happy to help. And I'm happy you're here to watch and talk about it with me, because to all of you guys, sincerely, because I might lose my mind if I didn't have somebody to talk to about this one. So yeah, thank you so much. Why was Cortney around when someone had a hot shot? That's a great question, Kindness. That is a really great question. Oh, okay. Neat. Good. Because I accidentally blocked them and I meant to just remove the comment. Do not come in my live talking trash about the people who are in here, and certainly about the people who are in here all the time that I know. But anybody, any of the people that are chatting here, you don't get to come here to slander them. You got a problem with somebody, you talk to them personally. You don't come to my chat to do it. And certainly not making horrific comments about people calling them egg and sperm donors because we're talking about Cortney. Oh, hell to the no. You will never be welcome here doing that. And just fucking ban and remove them on site if somebody else does it, because I'm not putting up with that shit. All right, here we go.
And I suicide, and my grandson was in the NICU. What am I supposed to think? I'm not supposed to doubt my children. Your children are the ones that you're supposed to listen to.
Courtney.
This is a narcissist
And I said,
getting
listen
caught.
to everything.
Courtney, while you were sitting there screaming at that person about where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Where have you been? Where were you? You want me to tell you where you were?
I wasn't there.
On social
Where I should
media.
have been.
Exactly. So what do you think that makes you look like? And so for you to get upset that you have all these millions of people watching and all these things that they're saying, nothing is being brought up because of anything but what you've said. You have to understand
my
that.
daughter.
Okay, we want her too. We want her too.
That's all
And
I
that's what we're here for. So at this point, let's just
But
be
how
real.
much of Kimmy's story is true? How much of it isn't?
Hey, Cortney, guess what? I'm not saying that I believe Kimmy, okay? I want you to understand that. I'm not saying that I 100% believe Kimmy. But at this point,
When she's
you guys-
sitting here telling my whole family that she put her on a bus, what am I supposed to think?
Cortney, this whole thing is like a crazy debacle that is just insane. I think you need to think about that. You have people protesting outside your house for the return of your daughter. Why do you think they're protesting outside your house? Did you ever stop to think that? Why do they think you are the one? Not because of Kimmy, because they thought that long before Kimmy even said anything. Why do you think all of us think it's you? Why do you think that? Honestly, can you answer that? Why do you think that?
I didn't do anything.
Now I do wonder why. I know that she's done all these social media interviews and they've been pretty gross and extreme, but I'm just like protesting like because I didn't follow the case at that time. By the time I started following, actually, when I first heard about it on ATS News, Rebecca hadn't been found yet. And she was just found like right after that, like very close to when I heard about it. And then I started talking about it at the beginning of the week. So I don't really know like what people were so fed up with, 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. If you know, let me know. Why were they protesting out there then in the beginning? Because the locals were pissed. Okay. TikTok and Facebook all over it protesting.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you why you think that we all think that it is you. That's what I asked. I didn't ask you that.
You guys think
As far as we know, yes,
Really?
we did. The baby hasn't been found.
Cortney, I really think you think that we all think that it is you. That's what I asked. I didn't ask you
why
that.
you guys think that.
Really?
For the love.
Cortney, I really think that you're not that stupid of a person. I don't think you are.
Bless her heart.
I don't know why you guys are stupid. That's what she said.
So, again, why do you think that all these people are protesting outside your house, Cortney? Protesting outside your house.
Mm-hmm.
Why not outside Kimmy's house? Why not outside Mel's house? Why do you think they're protesting outside your house?
Because they seem to think so.
Yeah?
And
why do you think that way? You don't know why? Because you've been on social media for the 21 days that your daughter's been missing, spinning this fairy tale web of fuckery to the whole world that makes zero sense.
You heard what Kimmy has been saying?
I have heard it.
Seriously.
Yeah, Cortney, I've heard it. Do you think that I believe it? I don't know.
You don't think we're not hearing it?
But I really hope to God you're hearing it, because if you're not, but then again, I don't know if it's like a hearing problem or a comprehension problem, but I'm not saying that I believe Kimmy. I think something is tragically wrong here. What I think is that you don't know how to tell the truth. She doesn't know how to tell the truth. Brad doesn't know how to tell the truth, because there is a lot of untruth going on here.
Lie about.
Poor pitiful Cortney.
I'm not going to disagree. You're absolutely right. This is not something you lie about, but I don't understand why it is. What day is it today? Monday? And you said Saturday that she told you that? And then I'm assuming it was before Rebecca was missing that Kimmy, or right after Rebecca went missing, or right before that Kimmy was asking about trails behind the house. When was?
Now, I know that they might have been suspicious because that was one of the last people to see her, but I'm going to show you what her Facebook looked like, because, you heard her because she's been all over social media, but unfortunately, because a lot of it's TikTok lives, we may never see everything that she said on social media. Those lives happen and they disappear. And then, sometimes to never be seen again.
Hey, Brad, as a matter of fact, when was that? Was it before or after? I'm curious about that now.
This all started after.
Brad, when did
after.
Kimmy ask about the trails behind the house? Was it before or after Rebecca went missing?
Or was this before or after
Before.
Steph had her live the other night.
Still goes back to my theory as to why you didn't think that that should be something that was important to bring up to law enforcement when you realized that your daughter was missing, regardless of what you thought or how you felt. Why you didn't stop to think and say, you know, I thought it was pretty weird that my other daughter was asking about trails and she was driving a black car, and then all of a sudden my daughter leaves in a black car and she's vanished. Hold on a second, and you're the one that said it. Oh, till Saturday.
We didn't
This
know
past
she
Saturday.
was driving it.
Okay, until this. Okay, I'll take that back then. But it still doesn't change the fact that I do not understand why Brad did not say that Kinney was asking about trails while you know that your daughter is missing. It is an important piece of information that I think that they should have known right away, because maybe all of this could have been taken care of and she could have been found 18 days ago, 20 days ago, right away. I mean, I don't.
Okay, so let's just take a quick break for a second. We're not going to listen to it all tonight. We will never get through it all tonight. We're going to go for a little while longer. I don't even know how long she's up there. So we're at 35:35. Let's just do an experiment to see if she's up at this point.
I understand that you can't, Cortney. We are very well aware that you are, you know, you have a
Okay, so 35:35. She's still up at 105. Let's go to 122.
I know you can hear me. Cortney, do you have your inhaler?
She's up at 122. Okay.
Where is Becca in that house? Open up, move that freezer, and get her to understand that those cameras are still recording, and the FBI will previous biological name.
Maybe she's not up here at the end. Just to double check so we know, because we're going to have a lot to talk about Tuesday anyway.
I won't touch on anything in detail because obviously I'm not trying to hinder anything. I'm not trying to get myself involved more than what I've been told.
Okay, so let's go back to 35:35. We still got quite a bit. We'll probably listen to for at least the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Okay. But let me just show you really quick. I'm not going to play. And I'm also going to scroll on past her cover photo because her son is in that. Protest, huh? Heather Marie, come back and ask Brad to fuck. That's a dirty person right there. On November 24th. Okay. November 22nd, her alibi, which is her son. And he says, you know, my mom was there in the morning. She was there when I woke up, when I went to bed. Then she has, this car is what my daughter got into. If you know anyone that drives a car like this, message me. And that's it. In the time she's been missing. So it has to be on the TikToks.
He was asking about trails behind the house. When was that, Brad? Was it? Hey, Brad, as a matter of fact, when was that? Was it before or after? I'm curious about that now.
This all started after.
Brad, when did Kimmy ask about the trails behind the house? Was it before or after Rebecca went missing?
Or was this before or after Steph had her live the other night?
Still goes back to my theory as to why you didn't think that that should be something that was important to bring up to law enforcement when you realized that your daughter was missing, regardless of what you thought or how you felt. Why you didn't stop to think and say, you know, I thought it was pretty weird that my other daughter was asking about trails and she was driving a black car, and then all of a sudden my daughter leaves in a black car and she's vanished. Hold on a second, and you're the one that said it. Oh, till Saturday.
We didn't know she was driving it.
Okay, until this. Okay, I'll take that back then. But it still doesn't change the fact that I do not understand why Brad did not say that Kinney was asking about trails while you know that your daughter is missing. It is an important piece of information that I think that they should have known right away, because maybe all of this could have been taken care of and she could have been found 18 days ago.
Well, first of all, nobody knew Kimmy was talking about trails because she wasn't. Okay, she wasn't. It's a lie to make her look guilty when Rebecca's found on the trails. Second of all, they had been searched already. Third of all, the phone was found there pretty immediately. Okay, because of the GPS coordinates, and Brad just happened to be able to look right at the GPS coordinates and know exactly where her phone was. I just want to say, Kelly, I hope you feel better. And there was another comment. Okay, Scouty had asked, so the daughter was found. Sorry, new to the case. So I've tried to do like a quick overview in the beginning of every live, just with like the outline of the dates and who was arrested when, who's involved kind of thing. But So it is her daughter, but it's her biological daughter who she lost custody of. And she's been with her foster/adopted mom since the age of 1. Also, Kimmy, the sister, was 1 month old and went to the same foster home when Rebecca was 1. But yes, the daughter was found. The baby was not with her. And immediately after Rebecca was found, her fiance and sister were arrested. They've since been released on bond. They haven't been charged with her murder, and the fiance's charges seem to be completely separate. Kimmy, her charges are lying to police in the investigation of a violent crime. Kimmy is the sister who they're talking about, who the biological mom is trying to make look guilty. But the biological mom has also been arrested with her husband, and they have 8 charges. And those charges, included in those charges, are homicide, intentionally causing a miscarriage or stillbirth, torture, all kinds of just horrific charges. And both Cortney, the biological egg donor, and her husband, Brad, have been charged with the same 8 charges, and neither one of them have gotten a bond. So Rebecca's been found. The baby, we don't think that, as far as we know, the baby is still missing. We have Kimberly and Rich free, but they still are facing some charges, and they have court Tuesday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And then we have Cortney and Brad, who are also arrested, and they are not out and free, and they are charged with the murder and torture. And the prosecutor said they planned this and they did research and planned. So that is just a quick overview. If you want to go through the dates and everything, I didn't want to be too repetitive and drag everybody through that again, because I do it every live. But you go to the beginning of this live 3 minutes in, and that's as soon as it starts, because the intro. And yeah, that's it.
20 days ago.
And there's a playlist.
I mean, I don't know.
Think about it.
I don't understand. I get that whole I don't think about it. Well, then I guess maybe you guys should fucking start thinking, because that is the most crazy. And I'm going to digress a little bit because I'm getting upset, but I'm sorry.
Because had we fucking even knew what I know now, I would have already been out on them fucking trails looking.
Courtney,
you can't search. Remember, one-legged
to go out searching, and you refused.
Shit,
you were offered side by sides before personally. You were offered side by sides before personally by me, and you refused.
When?
This was more than 12 days ago. I told you I could get people up there with horses and side by sides, and you said no.
Courtney, I also know for a fact Texas EquiSearch reached out because they need your permission to search, and they were refused. And they are a very
they need the police department's permission.
Back up. Who?
The police departments.
Texas EquiSearch.
That's incorrect.
Nobody has contacted me. My phone has been off.
Okay.
I can only use it
on for confirmation. But he stated that he reached out and the help was refused. Yes, they wanted to come.
Not by Cortney. It was refused by the police department.
Several missing people over the years.
Can you shoot me a number?
No, do not give that woman their number.
Or what?
You can call them. I will send you their number and their email. But yeah, you can also.
Why do you care if she gets the number? Why do you care so much? This isn't your fucking case, lady. I'm sorry. And I'm trying not to take out my frustration on her. And I've enjoyed her questions at times, although she's cringed me out begging for likes and shit. Why do you not want her to get their number? First of all, Texas EquiSearch, yeah, they are a credible. My brain is like losing the word. 501c3 organization. They are a credible nonprofit organization. Okay. And they have found a lot of people. Dave Radar, Twyla. And I'm probably messing up their names anyways, but we've seen them involved in many cases. And I can guarantee you one thing. They can fucking handle Cortney calling them. Okay. And if the sheriff's department told them no, then even if Cortney calls them, they still will not do it. Believe me, they can handle it. Yeah, it's not her job to solve the case, and it's not her live stream to control. That's why it's so annoying. Like, why are you? No, don't give her the number. Why do you care? Believe me, that's not going to hurt anything. Go ahead. Give them permission to search your property. You know what I mean? Just,
So call them.
No.
Just text
No.
the
The police have
CEO,
to.
the founder is his first name is Tim. They've been around 20 plus years.
Wait, so who was I thinking of? Dave. That might be somebody else that does another search organization. Tim, what's his last name? Is that the one whose daughter went missing? And that's kind of what's got him into this. And he's the one who works with Twilight. It's been a long time since I've talked about a case they were involved in. But regardless, they have a very good reputation for being good. And I just don't understand why this lady has such a...
They are highly recommended. They're amazing. They can truly help you guys.
Only being her bio, Mom, I can still do this.
Yes.
Yeah, she won't call you. I just hate for her to become an
Especially
issue for
if
them.
you were talking about back trails
when
in
it's
your
not
house,
necessary.
by your house, on your property. Absolutely.
Not on my property.
Adjacent to your properties. You're saying they're behind your house.
Tim Miller. Okay,
not
that's right.
adjacent to my
Tim
house.
Miller.
Oh, for
You
fuck's
didn't
sake.
say they were trails behind your house.
They're trails, but they're all state land.
Okay. And you said, and Brad said they were back behind the house.
Oh, Dave Radar is the director
If it's
there.
state land, that's
Go down
Tim
the road
is the...
Yeah, it's all state land back there. If you go
Yeah,
down past my house, there's the road, and you make a right. You go down, and it splits off two ways. Three? Oh, yeah, it does split off. But you got to stay to the
Was there a
left
specific
side.
direction?
Stay to the left side. Huh. Now we know that, the phone was found to the right and she was found towards the left. Based on that one video, I guess it depends on what direction you're standing and facing. But it looks like Dave Radar is the director and Tim is the founder. I don't know, but regardless, highly accredited organization, good reputation. Let me say it like that.
He was asking about?
Steph, you don't
Was
need
she
to
asking
protect
about
them.
the
Trust
right,
me.
straight
They
direction,
got it.
left, right? No. What specifically did you ask Brad about the trails?
3 years ago, we were out there running with Rich.
Running?
We were out there running the trails.
Huh?
Okay, that
I can't.
She has one leg. Or does she mean like a different kind of running?
Oh my God.
what types of questions?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hey, Carolina.
Answer it
Thank
again.
you. Tim
All they want to
Miller.
do is not listen anyways.
I'm hungry.
Brad, you haven't even answered the question. You talk about people not listening, but you haven't even answered it. I'm trying to be respectful here, but
Wife got the phone back just because you were badgering me. Just when I told you, she asked about the trails because she wanted to know where they went, how far they went, where they come out at, and all that.
Shut up,
Because
bad
she wanted to
Brad.
go trail riding is what I assume.
Fucking Brad.
That is my bad.
No, we don't want him to shut up. We want to hear more from Brad. Lady, you shut up. I want to hear from Brad. Let me rewind a little bit because I want to listen a little closer to what he's saying there.
you talk about people not listening, but you haven't even answered it. I'm trying to be respectful here, but
Wife got the phone back just because you were badgering me. Just when I told you, she asked about the trails because she wanted to know where they went, how far they went, where they come out at, and all that.
Shut up, bad.
She asked about the trails, wanting to know where they went, how far they went, where they come out at. Okay.
Brad.
Yeah, that's right. Tess, I know that. He even searched for Kaylee.
Trail riding is what I assume.
Fucking Brad.
That is my bad for assuming that.
yeah, fair,
Don't assume that.
fair enough. Right. Thank you. Gotcha, yeah.
Well,
I said,
I fucked up by running out of cars, but I didn't know that. She was running with Brendan,
Bad Brad knows.
and Rich
Still-
runs them trails off.
They're so
all right,
full of
well, I
it.
still stand by my opinion that I think that it's awful strange that you just didn't let anybody know that
Whoa.
before. So that we could have went back there.
I
I don't know what to believe anymore.
She's
I
doing a
know
good
I will
job.
be
She's
gone
throwing down on
tomorrow
you.
afternoon, so
Well, wait a minute now. I thought everybody was meeting there at 11 for you guys to go out and go looking.
no, that comes from Rich Failer.
No, ma'am, that came from you when you said tomorrow meet in front of my house at 11 o'clock.
She's reading a
No, it did come from her. And also, my headphone died. Let me put the other one in. Hopefully I'm good. If not, we're going to have to take a pause. I guess I've been saying Rich's last name wrong. Failer. She called him Failer, and I've been calling him Fowler. Uh-oh.
message that she just received.
Oh, yeah. So let's just pause for a moment. I'm going to have to take a break from listening here because my headphones died. Yay. But this is important. We need to hear. Yes, J3. I believe so, because I do remember like looking into some of that and talking about that, but it has been a long time. So let me not say yeah. But I definitely need to be able to hear to like talk about this with you guys. So let's just take a second, regroup, and Tuesday, here's the deal. They both have court Tuesday. I will be on at 8:30 Tuesday night. We will go through every new update from now until then, according as well as what comes out in court. And yeah, we'll finish this interview too. We won't have that much to go through. At least, see, we're at 40, probably 40 more minutes. So, and then I'm sure we'll have a lot of information from court. Let me just pull that up and show you. And let's look for an article on Kimberly Park, Rich Failer. Four days ago. This is actually the same article that I had pulled up previously. This is when they were released. So let's just take a look at the information regarding court. So both of them were released, $5,000 bond, 10%. Failer's preliminary hearing is scheduled December 9th at 2. So remember I said one in the afternoon, one in the morning. His will be in the afternoon. I have a question, and if anybody knows the answer, and I mean, if you genuinely know, if you guess, sure, guess, but if you know, send me an email or let me know in the chat if you're here now. So why would both Kimberly and Rich be arrested on the same day, but they're on like a different schedule, it appears? Because why would one of them, Kimberly, be having a probable cause hearing and Rich would be having a preliminary hearing? Why would it be different? I understand their charges are different, and it seems one is related to her disappearance and one is not. But let me just write this down real quick. So we have Rich at 2 p.m. and Kim at 10:30. If cameras will be in the courtroom live, I could stream it at 10:30 that morning. At 2, it'll be very close to when I have to leave for school pickup. But even if there's not cameras in there live, I believe they won't be in there live anyways, but they will be allowed in there. And so we'll get to see some footage after the fact. We'll have a lot to go over Tuesday night. Okay, so let's take a look at this though. Wait, let me write first. One's preliminary, one's probable cause. So Kim, we're going to have a probable cause hearing. I am pretty certain we're going to get more information during that. And then Rich, preliminary. Okay, so Kimberly was charged with 3 counts: tampering with evidence in a criminal case, lying to a police officer during a violent crime investigation, and filing a false report of a felony. The first count, tampering with evidence, is a felony, and she could get up to 10 years. The second count is punishable by up to 4 years, and they don't say if it's a felony or not. And the third count is false report of a felony, which is a misdemeanor, up to 4 years. So she's facing a total of 18 years in prison for lying to police. Richard is facing a life sentence because he already has charges for distributing his is delivering methamphetamine, and he's a habitual offender with 3 previous attempted or completed felonies. So he could be in there for life. So let me just see, is there anything else I want to pull up for you guys before we go? So Tuesday night, we'll go over the rest of this interview, anything that happens at court, and oh, they probably won't let me view this. This is the place Amber was looking last night. The fiance and sister of Rebecca Part have been released, paying 10% of their bond at $500 each. Fowler and Kimberly were both arraigned last week, a day after Rebecca was found mutilated and killed with her nearly full-term baby cut from her body. Rebecca's biological mother and stepfather have since been accused in the killing, which is described by the prosecutor as evil personified. Don't know why my phone keeps going off. Sorry about that, you guys. I just want to see if there's any more information here. Cortney, 40, and 47-year-old Brad were arraigned Tuesday. Here's their exact charges, or at least some of them. We have first-degree premeditated murder, torture, unlawful imprisonment, assault with intent to cause miscarriage or stillbirth. No motive was offered by prosecutors. They both pled not guilty. They're from Boone Township. It's a 650 resident community surrounded by the National Forest. And yeah, that's it. Oh, before we go, I have to show you guys the GoFundMe in case you want to donate or share that link with you. So just one moment. All right, let's take a look at this. When Stephanie Park officially became the foster parent in 2004, it took less than a day for her to get her first placement. Wow, I hadn't seen this before. So this is about Rebecca and Kimberly going to live with Stephanie. Oh, thank you, J13, about my gingerbread man. She says, we have 3 kids that need somebody right now. She remembers the caseworker telling her. Oh my God. So that night, Park went to Walmart and got everything she'd need to welcome a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a newborn into the home. This is the first I have heard that the Cortney's 25-year-old son went to. He went to foster care with them because Rebecca's the 1-year-old, the newborn is Kimberly. Oh, and that's all it will let us see. No. I need to know more about this. I'm going to pay for it. I'll get this story, and then we'll go over it in the next one. Was Stephanie a kinship placement, or is she a family member placement? It looks like she just became a foster parent, and yeah, hold on a second, actually. Let's remove that and see if it'll let me just go ahead and pay for it right now. One second, because maybe I want to read this with you guys, but I'm not doing, if I do the monthly thing, well, I'll forget. So let me. Just one second, you guys. I'm trying to pay for it really quick so we can read this before we go. I want to know more about this, and I don't want to make you guys wait. So just hang in there with me. Can't see you right this second, but I will in a moment. Log in with PayPal. 168-018. Almost there, you guys. Amber actually screenshot me the interview that we were trying to read last night on her page, because I hate this, how you have to pay, like you have an interview you want to read and you gotta pay for it if you read it a second time. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so now we can read it. Here we go. Only a matter of time. We already read that part, and we read about the 3 kids that need somebody. So that night, Park went. So yeah, is she related? Wait, no, because the kids have her last name. Let me just keep reading. That night, Stephanie went to Walmart and got everything she'd need to welcome a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a newborn. Park and her husband, Rod, initially struggled to connect with the kids. Tim, 4, had underdeveloped social skills because of the environment he'd grown up in. Oh my God. Rebecca, at a year old, was wearing clothes sized for 3 to 6 month olds and didn't like to be touched. And newborn Kimmy was malnourished to a scary extent. Oh my God. Oh my God. Once the kids were in Park's care, they were able to visit their birth mother, then Cortney Fox. But visitation was quickly terminated, and later, so were her parental rights. As their long-term foster parents, Stephanie and Rod Park essentially had the right of first refusal for guardianship of the 3 siblings. The next steps were a no-brainer. At that point, they were our kids, Stephanie said. 2 years later, she and Rod became their legal guardians. Names were changed, legal documents updated. Every precaution was taken to keep them out of reach of their birth family. Despite their efforts, that wasn't the last they heard of Fox, now Cortney Bartholomew. Flash forward 2 decades, and Cortney and her husband, Brad, have been charged in last month's alleged murder of Rebecca and the death of her child. Her body was found November 25th by volunteers searching the forest in Boone near the Bartholomew's home. Rebecca had been mutilated, and they go through the 8 counts. It's a horrific crime that not only has this small community reeling, but has also made national headlines in the last month. And it has left Stephanie Park and her family trying to piece together what happened in the years since they raised Rebecca and her siblings. As Rebecca and Kimberly reached adulthood, they wanted to know their birth mother. Oh my God. See, I knew it. I knew it. This is freaking sad. I will absolutely link it. I'm going to stick it in the chat right now. If you want to screenshot or anything, make sure you do it immediately, because if you open it twice, you'll have to pay for it. I'll also have this article in the description along with the interview that we've been listening to. Hey Remy, I was having trouble understanding how a mother could do this to her child, but now it makes more sense. She wasn't her daughter except by DNA. Right. But they had a relationship the last 4 years let's read. Because you know what? Everything that we know comes from, these interviews and stuff like that. And Cortney's a liar, and Kimberly lied for Cortney. And let's read some of this. So because I assumed, and my theory was Rebecca turned 18 and wanted to know her mom, because 4 years was their relationship since they started it, and she was 22, just an assumption. But let's hear what they told the local news. So as they reach adulthood, they wanted to know her. Kids that are adopted, they want to know if that person out there has changed. They want those people to accept them, she said. As soon as the girls were out of the home they grew up in, Bartholomew tried to come back into their lives, Stephanie Park said. I knew it wasn't going to be a good thing, but I couldn't stop them, she said. According to Stephanie, in the years since, tensions rose between her and Cortney. A few months ago, she said Cortney was in court trying to gain custody of Kimberly's 1-year-old daughter. That child is now in foster care with Stephanie Park, along with Rebecca's 2 sons, 2 and 3, who have also been with her since birth, pretty much. Bradley's criminal record goes back to 2000 with criminal sexual conduct, forgery, and larceny. It's just a matter of time until Cortney attempted something drastic, Stephanie said, alluding to the alleged murder. I just never imagined it would be this gruesome. Northern Michigan Community honors Rebecca Park. Oh, that's a, I guess describing the picture up there. As the criminal case against the Bartholomews continues through the court, Stephanie asked those following the case to stop public speculation and online rumors, fearing further interference with investigations could prevent the Bartholomews from being tried to the fullest extent of the law, she said. The Wexford County Sheriff's Office had previously released a statement saying the misinformation and vitriol from social media was hampering the investigation. Remember, I told you guys they were putting out stuff about rumors. Oh, here's the GoFundMe. Perfect. This is the perfect way to wrap it up because I wanted to share this anyways. After Rebecca's body was found, her younger sister, Kimberly, was arrested on charges of lying to police, tampering with evidence, and making a false report of a felony. She initially was held on a high bond, but her bond was lowered and she was allowed to be out of jail, bonded out, after the Bartholomews were arrested. As for the Bartholomews, a preliminary examination has been set for Tuesday, December 16th. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to write that down too right here on this little pad where I have the court times for this week for Rich and Kim. This is where their preliminary examination, where Judge Corey Wiggins will decide if there's enough evidence against the couple to move their cases forward to circuit court. Now, this is huge. Let me tell you what. Sometimes in these hearings, you get a lot of information because they have to prove, hey, okay, so the probable cause affidavit for arrest, you just have to prove a little bit, right? This hearing, they're going to have to prove a little bit more. And then at the trial, you prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. So there is going to be, in my opinion, evidence presented, and probably some we don't know about. So that's going to be something to pay very close attention to, as well as what's happening this Tuesday with Rich and Kim. So before we go, let me just, hold on one second, you guys. 1 second. Let me just open up the GoFundMe and share that link with you guys. I've read it before, so I'm not going to read it again today. It will be in the description, though, for anybody who wants to help. It looks like they are only at 91% of their goal. And the GoFundMe, it does say that all money will go to taking care of these kids. And helping the family take care of these kids and navigate their way through loss. So, maybe even counseling and things like that. I don't know. But if you guys want to help, I want to make sure that you have the tools to do it. So here is that. And then tomorrow I'm talking Stephen Stearns because I want to save part 2 of this interview for Tuesday since they're having court and we will have more information. So I'll see you on this case Tuesday night, and tomorrow Stephen Stearns. There's a lot to be talked about there as well. Wow, I'm glad that we read that. Even though there wasn't that much, I think it's a place I probably need to be paying attention to and subscribe to for now anyways. You know what I mean? There's the GoFundMe, and then back to the So yeah, we learned something. The son also went. He's 25 years old now. Let me just read this part one more time because I think this is really interesting and says a whole fucking lot about Cortney's bitch ass. Stephanie Park and her husband Rod initially struggled to connect with Rebecca, Tim, and Kimberly. Tim was 4. He had underdeveloped social skills because of the environment he'd grown up in. Oh my God. Did you even spend time with him, play with him? Like, was he locked in a room? My God. Rebecca at 1 was wearing clothes for 3 to 6 month olds. Dude, my kids wore that size at well, Bentley was preemie, but they were usually after that first year with him and with my other, they were usually like on the other end of it. Instead of wearing too small, that they were like wearing, 2T at 18 months old, stuff like that. So Rebecca at 1 wearing 3 to 6 month old clothes, and she didn't like to be touched. Does that mean she was never touched and she was used to that? Because there is a child in my life who also has been through a lot, and she hadn't been loved on a lot. She hadn't been hugged and snuggled or had her back rubbed when she was sick. And when I first started doing that, it was alarming. Like, you could tell she would like jump away. It was just, you could tell. So is that what it was? Like, they never loved on her, never touched her, just left her setting? I don't know, but that's terrible. And then Kimberly was malnourished, quote, to a scary extent, unquote, according to Stephanie. So I think that's important. I'm glad that we got that. Oh, what an evil, stupid bitch. You have kids, and not only do you not fight to get them back, you don't even take care of them. They're malnourished. They don't know they don't have social skills. You can't touch them. But then when they are 18 and they're desperate for that connection, that blood connection, right? To know where they came from. Who am I? Because that's what kids do, right? They want to know, who am I? They think that they are half mom, half dad, right? And it just makes me so mad that then you take advantage and do this. What an evil, evil ass bitch. So anyways, you guys, thank you for being here. She was never touched. It's freaking sad. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Steph and Callie, girl, come Tuesday. If you want to hear about this, Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we will finish the interview we started if you watch the replay, and we will also go over everything that comes out in court. And I'll see you guys tomorrow to talk about Stephen Stearns, another piece of shit. That I want to talk about. I want to hear some of the phone calls Plunder released. According to her, I have not listened to them, and I'm not going to. I'm going to wait till the live. But I do have, according to her, which ones are new and which ones aren't. Because of her community post, she did a really detailed description of each call. And I want to talk about some things with him. And honestly, I know that Guilty of Crime goes through like his text messages, and I think he even responded to this Sevo Florane. And with the most respect that I can say it, like, I would never believe anything he said. I would be interested to hear from him, but I would not from him personally, but like hear what he said. But I never would believe it. I would never expect that piece of shit to tell the truth. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you tomorrow or Tuesday. And yeah, I appreciate you joining the conversation and going through all this information with me. It's been a lot. It's kind of hard to keep track of it all. So we can help each other keep track. But yeah, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.